Welcome back. What? Oh, the cat.
The cat.
What is the cat doing? The cat is inspecting our technology setup and running away. Okay. So today you're back in your Shamans outfit.
Because it's very cold today.
Yeah, it reduced from, I
It's
don't know.
10 degrees lower than yesterday.
Yeah.
It went down. For anyone who's interested in climate change, come here, live here, and see how it's going here. Maybe you become aware of something.
An old farmer's wisdom that I learned about last year
Yes,
seems to be holding true every year.
yes.
Hasta el 50, no
40.
hasta el 40 de mayo, no te quitas el sayo.
What does that mean?
Until the 40th of May, don't put away your coat.
Which would be the 10th of June.
Yes,
And it's cold.
yes.
When your mother went into the pool, said, "Wow, how cold is the water?" Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So go on with your story about climate change. We are happy for you. We are living a normal life, and I'm happy for our normal life.
So we read a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are reading the chapter, a new chapter in the same life.
Oh,
We stopped last week, and a lot of what we read was about different signs that you received in your life without yet at that point knowing how they connect. Like the last paragraph that we read was about your trip to the Italian Alps, where you observed a flock of sheep grazing on the opposite slopes, and the animals formed a perfect Om sign, which you then again found in India. And the last sentences were, in the moments when these things happen to us, we usually don't know what they mean. We must content ourselves with simply being observers of the situation. The hidden message is often only revealed to us much later.
yes.
Yes. During these years, we were friends with a married couple, Manfred and Hannah. He bought used cars, repaired them or sprayed them with new paint, and then sold them at a higher price. These friends invited us to travel to Yugoslavia. Since we didn't have our own car, our friend bought a Volkswagen convertible for us, which was simply sold again after the vacation. And of course, with a profit. They drove a BMW with a boat trailer and a motorboat. This was supposed to be used for us to go on excursions and go water skiing. The island of Rab was our holiday destination. I can still remember the great heat in Yugoslavia very well. While we waited for the ferry, we spent more than 20 marks on drinking water. Wow, that would have been a lot.
That was a lot. A lot. We had to wait for hours and give me something to drink, because we were not used. Now from here you could go no problem. But from Germany, no, that was hot.
I can still see the long line of people.
And we were driving. They were driving in front of us. We were driving behind with our Volkswagen Cabriolet. And we had two walkie-talkies.
Yes.
So the thing was that we would go to overtake first, that no one would crash into the boat. And now we are going, now it's free, now you can come out. That was the game we played the whole journey.
Nice.
No cell phone, no walkie-talkie, ting-tong, ting-tong.
In
Roger,
India.
okay.
In India, on a lot of our camping trips, out into the wild, we also used walkie-talkies because there's no cell phone reception at all. Yeah. I can still see the long line of people in front of the bakery waiting for hours for a loaf of bread.
Yes.
The supermarket shelves were completely empty.
I mean, you can big supermarket and maybe one or two glasses of marmalade. And that's it, and nothing else. Empty. I remember my uncle who, when I was there with the painting of Che Guevara, I painted that. I copied it. And he said to me, why don't you cross the border? Why don't you go there to see how it is? Why do you have that opinion and you think it's brilliant and it's wonderful? Because yes, of course, as a philosophy, all that was about communism seemed to be a brilliant idea. Yeah, but no one was able to live it. So, and he said, go, figure it out how it is. Well, when we came to Yugoslavia, we saw how it is.
I have wonderful memories of the GDR, but I was very young. I was just, from 0 to 6 years old.
Like what I told you in Morocco, when we went to this very poor region, and it was all full with plastic flying everywhere. And Lena said to me, oh wow, these people here, they have a problem with plastic. And I said, no, they don't have. You have a problem with plastic because they've driven you mad with that idea. Look to the children. You will never see so happy children in Germany like these children here. But as a child, of course, you live there. It's wonderful. Whatever, it's wonderful. You have your family, you have grandma, whatever. Everything is fine. We go to Africa and they play with a little stick, the children, and they are happy. And here they are, hey, mommy, I want that, papi, I want that. All the whole day being. Yes.
On the island, we set up our tents at a campsite and made plenty of use of the motorboat. However, the warm sea water was too cold for me. What an unpleasant feeling when the water slowly crept up in the diving suit that we had put on for safety. Not nice.
It was a nightmare. It was warm. The water was really warm. Not to go in there and to feel this water coming slowly up in between the suit and your skin. No.
One morning, there was a lot of excitement at the campsite. A prisoner was stranded there who had swum here on a wooden beam from an island opposite that served as a prison. Everyone tried to hide the man so that the police, who soon showed up, couldn't find him. Another time, a large limousine drove up to the beach. No one was allowed to drive to the beach. These were very arrogant people who behaved as if the coast was their property. We assumed that these people were high government officials. A short time later, there was a lot of movement on the beach. A child from this family had disappeared in the water. We spent hours searching for the boy in the crystal clear waters with our boat, but to no avail. He was found the next day, drowned.
No comment over that. What was it?
I'm not writing this down as evidence for the theory of karma.
No, that's just I wanted to say that, yeah.
An explanation I don't share anyway. Even today I strive to understand what wonderful people like Jesus Christ did to end their lives on the cross.
Yeah, or the mother who's drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, seeing dying her children. So what has she done to deserve that? No, don't come with that theory. It's better to go with a smile through your life because maybe another person could respond to that, but no. It's not what you put in is what you will get. There's a complete different system behind all that. And most of the people who came to a higher place spiritually, they had to go through a lot of hardship. It's not because they deserved it, no. The source wanted to bring them somewhere, and so it's only done by hardship.
Because you can't talk about effectively about something that you haven't lived yourself.
That's it. That's one thing, and the other thing is if they take you and squeeze you, then you look for something else. You start to move. You get more open for maybe a solution that without that problem, you would not admit it as a solution. You would say, no, I don't want that. But as you are in need of a solution, then maybe you are open and say, boy, I'll give it a try, maybe. So it's not what you put into the game you will get back. No. Absolutely not.
However, I believe that it can be helpful to go through life with a bit of humility. During the years in which I still lived on the farm in that small house, I had to cycle 3 kilometers every day to the next village in order to board the train that transported me another 20 kilometers to Bad Gandersheim, where my high school was located. I often thought about simply dropping my bike on the side of the road and hitchhiking along the main road to the south, to southern Germany, Austria, Yugoslavia, Greece, to Turkey, to Istanbul. Istanbul was my big dream. The Orient, a different, more colorful life. Since my wife Frida had to work and wasn't exactly in the mood for adventure, we agreed that I should go on a trip to the distant Orient alone. Of course, I had prepared for this trip to the Orient, so I could soon be seen alone in a small bay in Yugoslavia in a strange bathing suit. 2 triangles.
You know what it was? These triangles that you put if you have a broken arm. No? Yeah. I took 2, I sewed them together, and then and they were beige or brownish color. I changed the color.
2 triangular scarves that I had dyed orange and sewn together at one corner served as swimming trunks. You would have thought you were looking at an Indian yogi if my all too white skin hadn't given me away. There I sat on the pebble beach and embroidered many different religious symbols onto my money belt, which I had made myself. A sign that I belonged to a very open, accepting group of people.
Apparently.
Was this a plan to say, okay, I'm going to go to Yugoslavia and I'm going to sit there with my tent, or how did this come about?
I don't know. I was playing the guru. I was this wonderful person. I had to show that, maybe to myself first.
Finally, I got to Greece. In Kavala, I met a young man from Holland. We both slept in our sleeping bags on the beach. Early in the morning, we were woken up by the roar of several jet fighters flying along the beach and then out to sea. We packed up our things and went into town to have breakfast. The streets were filled with people, men, women, young girls and children, and lots of military vehicles, including tanks. It turned out that a war had broken out between Greece and Turkey.
Thanks God it never really broke out. They were going for it, and then something happened. It was about Cyprus, and they arranged it, so it never happened.
How incredible it was to watch mothers crying goodbye to their sons, or women to their husbands, children to their fathers. Everyone was crying. Everyone except the young soldiers who were sitting or standing cramped into the trucks or the tanks. They were singing or rejoicing, happy and proud to be able to go to war against the people they had been raised to consider their arch-enemy. One could imagine a similar scene taking place on the Turkish side.
I mean, who is it? Who has the right to send you to war? Who wants that? But then we go into it. They tell us, "Whoa, this is our enemy. We have to go to Russia. Russia, we as Germans, they are our enemy." What? How many people come here from Russia? They are the most brilliant people. So, what? Who are you to send us there?
What are these ideas of countries and borders and cultures, all of these things that we seem to be making up to create a difference between people rather than to share and celebrate similarities? We tried to buy something to eat or have a coffee, but that was no longer possible. We were sold absolutely nothing on the grounds that from now on everything would be reserved for the military. There were no buses or other means of transport for us. We tried hitchhiking. After a long time, a car stopped and took us away. The driver explained the situation. Everything had been confiscated by the military. even the private vehicles. The good man took us to a small town called
Drama. Mm.
We waited there for hours, nothing to eat, nothing to drink, Coca-Cola only for the soldiers, and you saw soldiers everywhere. Ultimately, we received 2 tickets to the Yugoslavian border, and we were finally safe there. From there, we went back home with a thumb, which means hitchhiking, right? Istanbul had to wait. But I had a new friend who came with me to our little village and stayed there for a few days to visit. Fortunately, this war never came to fruition, and all that remained was cheering, crying, and chanting. My wife and dogs were happy to see me again. One evening, a visitor I didn't know came to dinner. After the meal, the stranger asked me to pull out one of my long hairs, tie it to a silver ring that I was wearing on my finger, and then hold the ring and hair like a pendulum over the picture of a woman. The ring began to rotate slowly, very slowly, clockwise, in an incomprehensible manner. My arm and hand were completely still. This movement did not come from me. Then the visitor asked me to try the same thing over a picture of a man. This time, the ring swung in a straight line from right to left. And now a photograph of someone who had already passed away. I was looking for a photo of my father. In this photo, the ring was standing absolutely still. To this day, I still wonder why I didn't ask the stranger his name, or why he showed me the art of dowsing,
That's
which is
working with the pendulum. Dowsing.
So your father had passed.
The North American Indians, or maybe many people, they always refused that someone would take a photo from them. They didn't want that. Because they had the belief that something is in the photo connected with them, no?
Yeah. In India, it happened a few times as well. Older people in general, and specifically sadhus, a lot of them do not want the photograph to be taken. In either case, it's good practice to ask before. But, yeah. So your father passed away. Did this get covered in the book? No.
No, he got covered by us.
If we have enough books, we can also do that. But
well, we could try. As we do not sell them, we could use them. Yeah, he passed away.
a new attempt to visit Istanbul was started. Again, without a wife, but with my good friend Robert. We set off. Robert was a strange, somewhat feminine guy. In the middle of Yugoslavia, on the side of a country road where we had spent the night in our sleeping bags, on the loamy ground. Loamy. On the loamy ground.
What does that mean, loamy ground?
I don't know.
I mean, what it was a factory ground. It was really quite dirty.
Mm-hmm.
We arrived at night, we couldn't see that. We just put our sleeping bags. It was all full with dust. And then in the morning I woke up and looked at him, and his face was completely white because he used this skin cream for his beautiful face. Lying there in the middle of nothing.
Yes, so I found him waking up with a completely white face. It was his skin cream, a face mask that he used for the pimples. Well, he had his priorities clear. We had lined up about 100 meters apart on the highway to try to stop a car, so people could think that maybe it was just one person who wanted to ride. Robert stood first, then me. A Volkswagen bus full of hippies stopped in front of him, and they let Robert get on. The bus started again, and it seemed like it didn't want to stop at my place. Nervously, I almost jumped in front of the vehicle, screaming, "Take me too!" The bus stopped again. A door opened, and the driver said, "If you don't have patience, you should better not hitchhike." Well, that is true.
That was a good thing.
We drove all the way to Turkey with these nice people. We crossed Bulgaria. Already at the border we could see the advantages of a communist country. Some of the border guards were women. The driver of our bus, a handsome young man, smiled at one of these female soldiers.
Oh no, you should have done that.
That probably wasn't right. Pull over to the right and get out, was her friendly response to that smile. We were allowed to wait for several hours.
Mm.
That's one way of cooking people.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
At the border, it was mandatory to change our money into Bulgarian currency, about 50 marks per person. It was the same in the GDR. I think I mentioned it just the other day. We still have things. My parents used to go regularly to visit family. We still have a lot of things from that time, and beautiful ones. Like, after an hour of driving, we stopped at a restaurant. The place was full of people. We sat down at one of the free tables. The waiter came and we ordered something to eat. There is nothing for you to eat here. Then please have a Coca-Cola for everyone. No Coke for you either. We were brought water and nothing else. We tried to buy some sweets at a nearby kiosk. Without success, there was nothing for us to do. The Bulgarian currency could not be exchanged anywhere, and after we left this hospitable country behind us, we threw all the Bulgarian money out of the window. So what was that? They wanted marks so that you would buy something, or they just didn't want to?
They didn't want to see anyone from how our country is called. You have communism and?
Capitalist?
They didn't want to see a capitalist. Simply, no, we don't want you here.
Okay. Did you consider giving the money to someone?
No. No. No to them? No. It was a joy to take all that money.
I'm
Windows
sure.
open. Phew, look.
Never done that before.
And not in Bulgaria.
Maybe not after.
In Greece or where we came to.
Once in Turkey, we thanked the new friends and hitchhiked our way. We sat on a country road for hours with our thumbs in the air, but no one stopped. My friend made 2 tiny grave mounds out of stones and wooden sticks on the side of the road and said, "This is the end of us." Little dramatic.
Yeah.
Suddenly a truck stopped and the driver asked us to get into the back of the truck. Well, that was the Orient. This part of the truck was full of fully veiled women. Apparently they were returning from work in the fields. Apart from the eyes, nothing of the face was visible. Robert was a clever guy. He pulled out a water bottle from his backpack and handed it to a woman of his choice. She took off her veil to drink and then passed the bottle on. So we got to see the faces of several women, and my colleague laughed. But soon he stopped laughing. The vehicle turned off the main road and drove up an unpaved dirt road into the mountains. That was clear from the start. They will kill us and steal our belongings, were my friend's thoughts. Don't you think it would be better to die here in the mountains than at home in front of your television? I remarked.
Well, we were on an adventure, no? That's your life.
Yes.
That's an adventure, no? Take it as it comes, no?
Maybe you already said this last week because we've been saying it a few times over the last few days. Like, if we could just see life as an adventure, it would all be okay.
As an observer, it's an adventure. Yeah. Observe it, how it goes. And no one told you that it will always be fine. No, it will not.
It came because we watched Lord of the Rings,
Lord of the Rings,
we rewatched,
Sam said.
Yeah.
Sam. Yeah. It's an adventure.
It's an adventure. And the outcome
Don't
not clear.
try to figure out all the rules of that adventure because it has no rules. The rules are from there. And you will never figure that out. You will never know what it's about and how it's going and how. Today I said to someone, maybe your mother, I don't know, this idea of holistic medicine. No?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's impossible. You have no holistic medicine. You have absolutely not one single holistic thought. If
Holistic
it
would mean
if it
it's
does
including
not
everything.
come from the source, because the source will know if in 2 years there might be war, an earthquake, there might be whatever. So what we try is to imitate the creating source and say we can do that. You cannot have a holistic idea. It's not possible, because all the details of creation, all the details of your destiny, it's not there for you. So give it up. Don't spread these ideas and always say, oh, we can, and now it's special, and now you cannot go to a normal doctor because that has to be a holistic. Holistic of what? What? You are connected to God? You receive your information from the source telling you what you should do with that person? Or you just learned a new definition that sounds very cool and very advanced, and then it's again only a tiny little box where you are moving in. No, it's not possible. So life is an adventure. Well, enjoy the trip.
Yes.
As they said in One Giant Leap, look, it's a stage, it has an entrance and an exit, and that's all. No? Or Dennis Hopper said, oh, my friend, he knew everything about dying. He said, look, dying is, you breathe in, you breathe out. That's it. What else you could know about that? You will never know. Or maybe one day we know, we don't know if
we
we
can
will
have
know.
ideas, we can have
No?
beliefs, but not knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Let's see what will happen now.
We reached a very small village.
How nice to be old and someone is reading your memories.
Yeah, you're
You
enjoying
see,
it?
when old people come together, in the end they are talking about that, no?
Yes.
What they can remember from their life. No, you're sitting here and someone is reading that. Oh, nice.
And I will be very happy if one day I'm still here and you're not.
Oh, but you will be happy that you are here and I am not.
May I finish my sentence?
Go on.
If one day I am still here and you are not, that I can watch you, well, watch us, but listen, like hear your voice again, and
I was
you know,
thinking
and,
about
and
that today.
remember
no?
all of these.
Or my children,
all
or
of these
any
stories,
people
yeah.
who came here to get us to know. And what I said to you, look, I want to have the place. I want to have my tomb. I want to have it in a nice place, so then you can later go there and sit and drink your funny tea. You prepare very hasty holistic tea. And then you sit and you say, oh, fucking Effendi, how are you? And you smoke a cigarette and then like that to the tomb. Enjoy.
Yes.
Just, it's an adventure. There's no guarantees for nothing. Just enjoy and take it as it is. Sometimes I comment that to people that I'm looking for the tomb, but maybe we buy a place on the graveyard. Or no, what can you think about that? Why shouldn't I think about that?
We should talk a
I
lot
want to
more
make
about it, right?
comfortable for
Yeah.
the people. I mean, maybe you go before I go, but supposedly I go before, so then I try to prepare everything for you and for the others who are with me, and can sit there and laugh and remember, or read the book, or tell your experiences from that day. And what do you think, Effendi? What, that was good or not? And Bert is coming, making beep, 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 beep. Ah, yeah, he answered, it was good, it was okay. No? All that is a fantasy. All that is, you want to believe that. And there's no real proof, no? I mean, you can observe and you make a kind of prayer and someone suddenly comes out of coma. And so apparently you can say, yes, look, that happened. That, yeah, but also it could have been the medicine of the doctor who brought the person back. You don't know. You don't know. Take it as an adventure. You what you perceive, what you get. And you say, well, that's my story. It's true. It's my perception.
Yeah.
It's my perception. I don't know if that is true or not. But I enjoy my perception.
I enjoy believing in what I believe in. It's wonderful, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But it is a belief.
It's a belief. It's a
And-
belief. Like with these visions we see, It's a vision. You cannot say, now I know how dying is, or now I know that there's reincarnation or former life. Or,
What you're
no,
referring to are like
it's
past
a
life
vision.
hypnosis
No,
sessions we
Clara,
make with
it's
people.
a vision. So then, well, it's a vision.
Yeah.
No, what happened now? In the mountain.
We reached a very small village. The women disappeared and we were led into a kind of meeting room where many men were sitting at wooden tables drinking tea and staring spellbound at a screen. They watched Cassius Clay and George Foreman fight for the heavyweight championship. Tea, yogurt, cheese and fresh bread were brought for us, and we were able to witness Muhammad Ali's victory with these extremely hospitable people. Then the truck driver took us back to the main road and to the next village, where he looked for a hotel for us and paid for the room for that night. Well, that was wonderful.
Well, my friend, he said, no, they will kill us, you will see, they will steal everything. No, the guy, he brought us down, he stopped in front of the hotel, he asked for the room, he paid the room for us for that night, and then he said goodbye.
Very kind.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitable.
The adventure.
We reached Istanbul. The first night we slept in a small hotel near the train station on the
Where we will go in September,
Yes.
just there.
Okay. In a small hotel near the train station on the European side. In the middle of the night we heard gunshots in the street right in front of our hotel.
That was not normal for us from Germany. Eh?
That was something new for us. Large groups of street dogs roamed Istanbul at night in search of food. Here, all rubbish and garbage was simply thrown onto the street in the evening and then picked up by the rubbish collector late at night. What a huge number of people, smells, and unknown impressions. My slightly feminine friend didn't like all that too much. For me, it was the feeling of being at home for the first time in my life.
Mm. Finish?
No.
No?
No. We still
No?
have a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, with all these strange things, so many people, and normally you would be overloaded, but
Yes.
it was to be home.
I had the same experience
That
with going
was
to India.
Home. No?
Yeah. I feel I know exactly what you're talking about. It was no culture shock. It was just that feeling of being at home. Of being in the place where you're supposed to be. Yeah. 2 days later, we flew with a fake student ID that was easy to buy here and significantly reduced the price of the plane ticket back to Germany. At the airport in Istanbul, we drove past a burnt-out plane wreck, and my comrade burst
Was
into
our
despair.
plane? We were sitting in the plane, and the plane was going to take off. And you looked out of the window, there was the skeleton of a burnt-out plane. And a young Turkish girl was sitting next to me, and she was freaking out. I don't remember what I did, but I said to my friend, I said, look to the crew. You think they are stupid? I mean, they are educated people. They are nice, beautiful people. So you think they would go on the plane to fall down with the plane? No.
I looked at the captain and crew of our plane and thought, they don't exactly look like they don't know what they are doing. And I enjoyed the flight with joy. With tears in my eyes, I watched the jet take off and vowed to myself that I would come back here very soon. So you left so soon because your friend wasn't so comfortable, or you left so soon? Yes. You could have stayed.
I would have stayed longer, or maybe even traveled a little bit in Turkey. But no, he did not enjoy that.
A week later, I was in Istanbul again, this time with my wife. At that time, there were incredibly cheap weekend flights and hotels. So we took advantage of these offers several times. We bought leather clothing, then sold it in Germany, And so we were able to finance our short trips to the Near East.
That was 99 marks
Yeah.
for the whole weekend, the flight and the hotel, everything included.
And then you bought leather goods for...
And we went in one shop, I remember, and I bought, how do you call this? The trouser was, here you call it a peto, like the workers have.
I know the German word, Latzhose.
Ne Latzhose, that's it.
English?
I don't know in English. Well, it's a trouser,
Like
you have this part here,
Yeah,
maybe
and then
a
with the
pocket,
things from the back.
And I remember that was an older lady, and she said, put it on. Oh, you are a model, I remember that in that shop. Huh? So we were buying their leather clothes and then going back and to our friends and sold them a little bit more expensive, and we had the money for the next flight.
Beautiful. Few things last forever. My relationship with my wife fell apart, and we saw each other again during the divorce. She had come with her new boyfriend, and the three of us were waiting in the hallway to be called into the courtroom. The call came, and Frida and I entered the hall. The friend had to wait outside. The judge, a lady, asked me what I could bring against my wife to file for a divorce. Nothing. I like her a lot, I replied.
I said, I love her. That's what I really said. I love her. And that lady was driving mad.
The judge barked angrily at me. Are you making fun of us? If you have nothing against your wife, why do you want to divorce her? Why, I asked. Is it needed to hate someone in order to decide that it is better for each person to go their own way? And the divorce was announced.
Yes.
Very good.
That's it for today.
That's it for today. Very nice.
Goodbye.
Till next week.